As if some robot is telling me I can't do anything.
It's not easy to go an extended period of time without any sexual release.
Think of your lad.
This retreat is to help you gain deeper emotional connections.
Is blue balls a real thing?
We'll find out.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Love Island cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps. My co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It's been a few weeks. We have been gorging on reality TV and we are back with a new series. So what are we going to review? Because there ain't no Love Island on.
Well, there's a couple of things splintering off that little question, Dave. You are correct. We are going to start reviewing Netflix's brand new binge watch series, Too Hot to Handle. Now, it was released everywhere yesterday, which was Friday, the 17th of April.
Yep.
So I didn't check my phone once, Dave, just what the date was as I said that. But anyway, so basically the pretense of the show is it's a load of Love Island special type people, reality people who go on this place and they've got to basically not be together. And there's a prize fund that, by the looks of it, reduces as they go on if there's some sort of contact. So we get introduced to a lot of people. Very interesting. Now, you say, Dave, there's no Love Island on, but we have got a bit of an announcement as well, haven't we, regarding the show?
Yeah, so obviously with no Love Island on, or not looking like there's going to be for quite some time yet, and us just enjoying watching the different reality shows, we've decided we're going to go a bit more generic with the title, haven't we?
Yeah, we're going to change it slightly, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to change it to Dave's Reality Cast.
Chris sometimes appears, but yeah, Dave's Reality Cast.
No, so we are going to change it. And we wanted to have all of this ready, but our logo guy is a bit slower than we thought. So we wanted to have it to launch with this series, but it's going to be a little bit later, and then we'll hand out all the contact details and all of that. But it's going to be Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. And then we're sort of freed up. You know, when Love Island's on, we'll cover Love Island. When other things like Too Hot to Handle, Love is Blind, that we want to watch as well, so we'll cover those. So, Chris, I'm really excited. And again, I'm going to call myself out for being the massive fucking hypocrite that I am, because started this thing off, you know, hating this stuff. I did say, I seem to remember way back in episode 1, you know, I love Big Brother, but it sort of consumed my life. And guess what? I'm fucking right back where I started. Because before we get into Too Hot to Handle, we've been watching a lot, haven't we? And yeah. I haven't quite... So, Temptation Island, which you and a lot of our followers have been recommending for a while. And, you know, for me, it's a little bit too close to the bone on some things. So I've kind of avoided it, but ended up watching season 2, and I just couldn't stop it. Blasted through the whole thing in a couple of days. And it is an amazing shit show. So I'm almost through. I'm about halfway through the first season now, as well, and I can't wait. I mean, I just hope that they've got season 3 in like post production. It's already shot and everything, and we can watch that and don't have to wait. But no, I'm glad I've watched it now. I mean, what have you been watching, Chris?
Well, I think I said it recently within our other podcast, the VHS Strikes Back, but me and Sam have obviously everyone's been watching The Tiger King. We have our sort of mainstay reality stuff. So at the moment, we've got The Kardashians is back on. We watched that last night. We've got Housewives of New York. That's on. We've got to watch that today, actually. But one of the things that we've absolutely binged, and it's just becoming, like you were saying about Temptation, ridiculous. Because I subscribe to that Hey You app, and we have like every reality show you can think of coming from the States and stuff and around the world, Australia. We've absolutely caned Married to Medicine. And I mean, like I think we're like near the end of the 4th series, and these 18 episodes per season. So I'm trying to work out, 54. So we've probably watched about 70 episodes at the moment of this show, and they're all an hour long. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing with our life? You know, we are going out walking and stuff, but in isolation.
God bless lockdown.
So I've just hammered that. I mean, what's interesting about that is that they're either doctors. They're all like, it's a female-led cast. The husbands are in it as like support people in like the odd scene or the odd interaction, but basically they're either married to a doctor themselves or they are doctors, and all in Atlanta. And fuck me, it kicks off every. I mean, we've had proper punch-ups, Dave. Exactly what I want when I watch my reality show. Proper people being smacked about and stuff. No one's hurt, but like for the show, it's ridiculous. I shouldn't like it. People probably hate it, but me and Sam are just engrossed by this nonsense. It's just great.
Yeah. No, I must admit. I mean, I think when we recorded last, we talked a little bit about Tiger King, didn't we? When we did our Love Is Blind wrap up.
Yeah.
But I think they released the extra episode, but it was sort of a nonsense thing, wasn't it? It was a bit of a reunion thing. Everyone's in lockdown, so it's all across Zoom or something. So I don't think they needed to have that, to be honest.
No, it wasn't what I was expecting, to be honest, because I messaged you and going, I can't wait for this on Sunday. And it was released last weekend everywhere. Like Joel McHale's very much, Dave, he's very much like, not Oxo. Fucking Oxo.
Oxo? What the fuck are you talking about?
Marmite, I mean, Marmite. It's very Marmite.
It's very fucking Oxo.
It's a bit of gravy, yeah. What's a bell end, right? Go on. So he used to produce a show called The Soup on E, which we used to watch, which basically was a bit like a satire show where he fronted it. He'd have a couple of people off him, but mainly he just took the piss out of celebrities, like in their sort of stupid worlds they live in where they think they're so important. And it was quite a good show. And then they finished it. And he's done a lot of gaming stuff as well, but he's I said this to you then, after we talked about this previously, but I said he's very, very vanilla the way he is. It's just weird at times. And I think it didn't come across very well. His humour, just for me, was just lost completely. Maybe because there wasn't a live audience, but you could see that everyone from the Tiger King had got sent a pair of AirPods, except for the producer who had one in his ear and behind his head. But yeah, it wasn't what I wanted, really. I think you're right. I think it was one of them things like they didn't need it. There was nothing. I mean, the only thing they did do is everyone did a Hatchet and Berry job on Joe Exotic. That's about it. And it sounds that the producers were a bit more lenient on Joe than what he actually was. However, we haven't got his side of the story, but it sounded awful what they were saying. But I was the same as you. I come away from it thinking, well, that was half an hour I just didn't need to watch.
Yeah. And I will say, just final kind of sort of semi-plug, but I've been watching The Bachelor South Africa, obviously. So we set up this other podcast, so The Bachelor Banter, where I'm doing with the lovely Jade Wright. And we've been going through and we've been trying to catch up because we started after the season had started. So we've caught up now, and that's really starting to hot up. But also on that same feed, we're covering Listen to Your Heart, which is like a Bachelor spin-off. And Chris, you've got to watch that first episode. Now, it's a bit of a long one.
Yeah.
And probably the highlight that I think you'll really enjoy is probably, there's 5 minutes of this guy. But honestly, he's like a cross between Austin Powers and David Brent. He is so fucking cringeworthy. It is unbelievable. I just loved him. Every time he was on screen, he was like, oh, I really like your lips. Oh, thank you. Do you like mine?
Oh, my God.
He is. And then he gives the old, the old Roger Moore eyebrow lift.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, it's all based on... A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that you really loved that movie, but it's basically based on that premise. So, can people find love through having a musical connection? So, a bit different, but, just episode 1's been released of that this last Sunday. And so you'll get the next one. I mean, in the UK, it'll be Monday by the time it airs. But yeah, no, definitely just for that bloke. He's called Michael. I think he's priceless.
Right. I'll have to get on that, Dave, as long as everything else we're doing. But I will say what we're doing with this show, Dave. Now, we know that it is all been released, and the whole series has been released on Netflix, but we're going to follow the same sort of DNA as the Love Is Blind reviews that we did. So we are just watching it day by day. I'm sure some of the guys out there who are listening and that are probably watched it and binged it. I totally understand, but we're just going to try, if we can, just hit it. 'Cause it's about 7 parts, isn't it? And we're just going to try and do one each day just to finish the series off. So please don't spoil it for us, guys. And I promise Dave, because Dave knows I'm terrible for twitching and going ahead and watching stuff. So I'm not going to go ahead. I'm itching to watch it. After we've done this, I'm going to sort myself out and get watching it in about an hour or so, I think, it's episode 2. But no, so if you want to watch along with us, then we're going to do it day by day. So it's entirely up to you how you do it.
I must admit, I mean, I finished watching it and I was like, fuck, I can't carry on. I just want to carry on because it's just getting good. But yeah, no, so, we love all the interactions and everything. And like you say, with Love is Blind, everyone was so brilliant. No one spoiled anything for us. So I think we're probably more in danger of bloody being spoiled by Google or flicking past something on social media or something, but we're going to try and keep to a daily schedule. Now, it may not be every single day, we might have the odd one off, but we'll try and get through it pretty quickly so that, for a lot of people, I don't think everyone's going to binge it on the first day it drops. So hopefully, you can watch them and then come listen to see what our perspective is on have a bit of a recap and a bit of a laugh with it.
Yeah, definitely. So where do you want to start then, Dave, with this one?
Well, first of all, I mean, I think a couple of people. So Sam and also I think it was Rachel from Twitter had messaged us in. She's saying, "Look at this trailer," and as soon as I saw the trailer, I was hooked. I just thought, "Oh, this is brilliant. This is like Love Island, only they can't have any sexual release, no kissing, no nothing at all." And one of the girls is going on about, is blue balls really a thing? Or something like that. And I just thought, I love this concept. And I have to say, as soon as it starts, and you can see they've picked, the casting deserves an award for this because they have picked the biggest bunch of narcissistic arseholes out there who are just promiscuous as fuck. Stuck them all together and effectively strapped a imaginary money chastity belt on them. I fucking loved it, Chris.
Oh yeah, it was. It's funny because it starts off and we get Chloe, the English girl. And what I appreciate on this show is you've got different people from different places around the world. So you've got Canadians, Australians, Americans. Obviously, there's a few English on here. And this Chloe girl, straight away, I'm thinking she looks like she's going to be a fucking handful, a bit of a snidey one. She dropped a few things in there, but I tell you what got me, Dave. Body of an absolute Adonis, personality of a fucking doorknob. That fucking David, the English guy, what a felon he was. I mean,
What I'll say, and I probably wouldn't have even thought of this, to be honest, if it wasn't covering Bachelor South Africa, but they've pretty much got every major English-speaking region covered, haven't they? Like you say, they've got Canada, they've got the US, they've got the UK, they've got Australia as well, but, South Africa, it's like ginger-headed stepchild and left out again. So producers, get some fucking South Africans in there next time.
But this David guy comes in and he's got his absolute body of absolute Adonis. But I found him like, what a wanker. His VT was like, I can't say how many women I've had, and starts like laughing his head off, and I'm like, no. And they're all stood around together at this little bar setting. There's 3 or 4 of them. And it was later on the episode when he got with Rhonda and he's talking to her on the beach and he walks up and you would talk about David Brent. He walks up and goes, "Don't be looking down there. Don't be looking at my crotch," sort of thing. I'm thinking, you fucking wasn't. You were literally putting it in her face as you sat down. And I'm like, that is fucking weird. I was just thinking, that is really, really a weird thing to say when you've just met this girl.
This one of the things that, as we've gone through covering Love Island, that we enjoy is when you get someone who clearly on their local scene, they just walk into a club, they have to put no effort in whatsoever, and they're pulled already, pretty much. Just a question of who.
Yeah.
So they're a big fish in a small pond, and then they come into something like this, and quite a lot of them have just got no game whatsoever, have they? Because they're just like, normally the body and the face is enough, and that's it. Whereas, some of the lines and the moves, they're just so fucking cringeworthy. I do agree about David, but I think, honestly, Chris, this makes the Love Island cast like the actual cast, not our podcast. They look like they should be on fucking Mastermind or something. I mean, what a bunch of self-absorbed fucking narcissists. I mean, all of them are utter arseholes, aren't they?
Yes. I mean, I read all the bios of each person, and it's one of them where I'm like, you're all just Instagram fucking models, or they've got their own business. That David's a movement and nutrition specialist, and I'm like, oh, what a dick. And when Thingy come in, fucking Matthew, Jesus Christ superstar, and he comes in and it's about 100 degrees, but he's got a full fucking like weird outfit on. I was like, oh, this is the hippie guy in it. This is like the chilled out surfer dude or something. And then he pulls his hair out. And I mean, Sam was going mad there. She sat next to me going, the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? She's like, what? They're all fucking set up. He's this. And I'm like, wow. I said, you proper don't like this. I said, do you want me to watch it on my own? And then he comes in and went, I fucking hate men with long hair like that. So I just went, well, what would you do if Jason Momoa came in? And she went, well, yeah, that's it. I said, so be quiet, please.
Well, yeah, you know, what have the Romans done for us? But yeah, I mean, they have picked these different types, haven't they? Like you say, David. I mean, they've all got fantastic bodies, haven't they? But David's like, you know, quite clean cut look. You got Matthew, who's a surfer dude. But as soon as any of them opens their mouth, Chris, oh, they're just awful people. And just, you know, so gagging for it. So as more of them come in and there's more flirtiness, you know, I was honestly questioning. I'm thinking, how much is this edited? Because they seem to race ahead with like the moves, like it's been over a week or something. You know, I mean, we had Rhonda and I can't remember the other chap's name. Oh,
They were kissing,
scrolling
weren't they?
through. Yeah, they're having a bit of a snog there. And
It's Sharon. His name is Sharon
Sharon,
Townsend. No, it's actually Sharon Townsend. Honestly, it is
all right,
SHRRON.
fair enough.
American lad. He's a model, I think, as well. He's a good looking lad.
I
He's one
think
with the tattoos, isn't he?
yeah, you're right. It is Sharon with two R's, isn't it? I've just got him up now. So yeah, so they're having a bit of a snog, and you know, you have even those introductory drinks, you know, a bit of Bucks Fizz, like an introduction
Yeah.
wedding thing, isn't it? But, you know, they're all full on flirting. You know, they think this is basically Love Island, and they are all getting ready to fill their boots. And I have to say, Chris, we've been a bit critical. Ian Sterling aside, you know, the people who've done like the Love Island, Australia and the US, they're a bit more PG and don't really take the piss. They just kind of comment a little bit on what's going on. I do like this commentator.
Yeah.
She is proper taking the piss out of them. You know, set up as a futuristic air freshener. I thought a lot of the comments, you know, she was just taking the piss out of him, and I was loving it. I don't know who it is, but she was pretty funny.
Well, Kells, the Londoner, he's an American football player or something. He said sort of like, Alexa, and she went, excuse me, I'm not fucking Alexa. You smart ass, shut the fucking mouth, you know. But I do think you're right. I think what's interesting, by hiding behind something like that, you can do whatever you want. And I think that's probably better. I know when Ian Sterling does it, he's doing it post-production and stuff, and he's obviously watching it. But this has got to be instantaneous. Now, I'm sure there's some production on the voice and the vocal and everything in it. You may have to re-record what she said in a booth or whatever. But it's all there. It's all we know how this works. I think what's good is like the Aussie lad, and I'm not being look, I ain't no oil painting day, but the Aussie lad, Harry, he's 6'5", and he got loads of attention. And I wouldn't necessarily say he was the most good-looking lad in there, but he seemed the most genuine at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
And he has done a bit of reality stuff in the past. He's been on a couple of shows in New Zealand. He lives in LA and stuff. But I think it was quite nice that he wasn't what you would initially call the most good-looking, but he had some, you know what I mean? And all the girls sort of were too, and I like that. I do like that because like you were saying about, sorry to cut, but like you were saying about the guy with the body, a bit like what we said about Anton on Love Island last year, is he would go, you said this and you were on the money, is he would go in a pub anywhere and all the girls would be like, wow, tight top on. He probably have the tightest fucking top. You don't need to speak. But when you are in that 1% bracket, you've got to up your game like a footballer has, any sports person. And I think that's the difference. These are all like in the probably 1-2% of like good looking people. So your body only gets you so far.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I do. I wouldn't say I kind of liked him, but he did seem to have a bit of banter about him, bit of chat. He was going on, wasn't he, old Harry? He was talking about he likes to give his girls the boyfriend dick. So not too big, not too small. And Matthew was, in the diary room or whatever, he's taking the piss, saying, "Oh, you just meet someone and you tell them you got a small dick." No, no, he was saying he had a boyfriend dick. Right? What he was describing though sounded more like Goldilocks dick to me. Not too big, not too small, just right.
I've been telling myself that for years, Dave.
What, sticking it in the porridge?
No, just about right, I hope.
But I thought he was probably one of the weakest in the group, if you want to put it that way. Because the others had more, I guess, more striking features, and I didn't think he'd do that well. But when they're having this game of fuck knows what they called it, just the guy who got up, he was just like, yeah, just blindfold and do whatever you want. So I see where this is going, and he actually got up and had a bit of a smooch with Francesca, and I think it went down pretty well.
Yeah, it did, to be fair. Because when she came in, Francesca was thinking, "Oh, she's really good looking," and she come in and I think, I like brunettes and stuff more than anything, and but she's really striking. As soon as she said, "I've got a really good face," I was like, "Nah, I'm over it." I was thinking, "You are just another self-indulgent reality wanker." You know what I mean?
Oh, they absolutely are. All of them. Like
Yeah,
I say,
everyone.
they're all terrible.
Yeah. And Dave, whether they're terrible, but we fucking love talking about it. That's what
Yeah.
it's
And,
about.
and honestly, as this is going on, because she clearly gets a bit hot under the collar. Again, the commentators going on about something about how frisky they're all getting, even though they only met like fucking 9 hours ago or something. But as soon as she has this sexy smooch, her and Harry, they're off to the bedroom, and I am fucking loving it, Chris, because I know what's coming. It's like you are going to get cock blocked by fucking an air freshener. I fucking love it. And they were just like, and so then the bombshell is dropped. Now they can either, they can win if they abstain and just no kissing, no touching, no sexual release of any kind, so no sort of self gratification. How do you think that will actually work? Actually, coming up to it, Chris.
Well, to be honest, it was very clever the way they built it up because you're right. We had a timer, 12-hour timer, and they all got to know each other. Like I said, we had a couple of people kissing. Sharon had kissed with Rhonda, and obviously Harry had that. So it built up to something really nice. But what they didn't say, and was a bit clever, a bit cute, was they were basically saying if you kiss, you're involving even self gratification, Dave. Which I don't know whether any of us could get away with that for the amount of time in that villa. However, it looked like they were just out. But when we did a preview at the end, it looks like every time you kiss or do something, you lose something.
Yeah.
So I said to Sam, and Sam said, well, it's clever because what it's saying is if two people genuinely love themselves, love each other, they're just going to go, fuck it, we're off. But it wasn't like that. It was more,
Off each other. Are you fucking shitting me? This lot just want to rip each other's clothes off and fuck. That's what they want to do. There's no love in this.
But let me finish. I know we pretty much probably won't be, but I think that's the concept. If they genuinely feel something, they're just going to go, well, money doesn't mean anything. Money is no object for love. So you're right. I'm being a bit fucking too romantic there, David. They're all fucking after what they can get, I'm sure. But I'm trying to play the game here. But then it showed a counter, didn't it? And then I must admit, we did see Hayley and I think it was Chloe go to kiss as it went off in one of the previews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And me being the typical bloke, it's like, hey, look. I was like, what? I want to watch the next episode, and we couldn't.
Got to fucking record cockblocked by my own podcast.
I had the Dave Horrocks fucking dartboard up throwing darts at you bastard.
Oh dear. I'm wondering what the scale is going to be as well, Chris, because would like self gratification, would that be like, I don't know, $1,000? Would full on sex be like 10 grand? Maybe a little smooch is a 500 quid or something. I'm interested to see how they actually price things up.
Yeah. Fucking hell, Dave. I was going to say something really, but I'm not going to say it. I'm sure you could get it cheaper elsewhere, I'll say. But anyway.
Yeah, but think about it, right? I mean, I don't know. We've obviously got, is it 8 episodes?
Yeah.
And, I'm assuming they're in there for a period of weeks. Now think about it, right? A couple of weeks in, you probably just have to brush past the couch or something. It is going to be hard work for them. No pun intended.
Well, I think you're right. You know what's interesting? It's a bit like the situation the world's in, isn't it? With pretty much everybody, unless you're on the front line, respect to everybody who works on that front line, genuinely from both of us, is when you're on lockdown, it's not that like you'll go for your walk. This is sort of a parallel. Obviously, this is fucking a TV show that's just completely, but as a parallel, when you're told not to do something, a bit like, touch a wet paint sign.
Yeah.
For some reason, the natural human instinct is to go, you can fuck off, I'm going to do it. And I think that's why where you see all these idiots in the UK going out or whatever, doing stuff they shouldn't be or whatever. Knowing that they're not allowed to actually have any touch or anything, that's going to make it even worse, isn't it? And if you were never told that, they wouldn't be bothered. But I think because you told it was like, well, I'll fucking show you. You know what I mean? And that's what I think as a show is going to be great. However, I do think there's going to be at least one person who is just going to be an absolute bellend and just going to absolutely try and ruin all the money. I'd love that if that happened. Someone just kept coming in every day and kissing someone on the cheek or whatever. It's like £500, £500. And I think that that's a show caused drama. That's what I kept thinking last night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be limited to one. I think from what I've seen from this first episode, I think they're all going to be at it. I think it's going to be, and if they do something, are they going to get called out, named and shamed, or, the rest of the group just going to find out? Because think about it, if you are scratching, if you're climbing the walls, but you are, adhering to the rules, and then someone else just, does something and you end up with 20 grand knocked off, you'd be fucking furious, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. And I think as well, what's interesting is you might find that a couple of the couples will be like really true and not touch, we're going for the money. And then the ones who've been copping off and doing whatever they want, bringing the money down, they'll probably win it. That's the thing. I don't know how it works, whether it's a Love Island one where you can share it or it's a couples one. Obviously, it hasn't been explained, which is great because it just makes you go back to watch more, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, on that note, unless there's anything else in particular in the episode you want to call out, I think we need to wrap it up because I want to watch episode 2.
Yeah, let's do it. So, if you want to contact us for the time being, guys, at Love Island Cast. Is that right, Dave? Or do you want me to do the new
For the
one?
Twitter? No, we'll read out the regular ones.
Okay, let's do it again. Sorry. If you want to contact the show, guys, at Love Island Cast on Twitter. If you want to email us, the loveislandcast@gmail.com. And as always, get on to your podcast catching up if you can, please, and drop us a review in the show. And also, get on to this. It's just brilliant TV. I think the episode 1 ran about 35 minutes and episode 2's around about the same. So they're not like hour slogs or anything like that. It seems to be just at the moment just about the right time to keep you engaged on it. So no, really good, Dave. And thank you, Dave. And like you say, hopefully by the next episode we may have a big announcement about the name change and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we'll send out all the contact details and we have our snazzy new logo, hopefully. Maybe even by the next episode, but let's see. So, Chris, it is great to be back on this and chatting through this shit trash TV with you. So let's get on to episode 2, and I'll speak to you next time.
Take care, mate. See you, everyone. Bye.
All we've got to do is just keep our pants on.